1847, a mother in rural England watched her 6-year-old son die from fever. The doctor was just 18 kilometers away, a distance that took 2 days to cross. By the time help arrived, it was too late. Imagine waking up in a world where the fastest way to reach safety is your own 2 feet. No engines. No highways. No speed. Every journey costs time, energy, and sometimes, life itself. Now ask yourself one simple question: did humans invent cars for comfort, or for survival? Because long before traffic jams and luxury vehicles, movement meant power. And those who couldn't move fast enough were left behind. This is the story of why humans had no choice but to invent cars. Before cars existed, distance controlled human life. Long ago, most people were born, lived, and died very close to the same place. Villages were small, and the world felt huge. If someone wanted to visit another town, it was not a simple decision. It meant walking for hours or even days. A journey of 100 kilometers could take 4 to 5 days on foot. In 1800, most people lived and died within 40 kilometers of their birthplace, not by choice, but by necessity. Roads were not smooth like today. They were dusty in summer and muddy in rain. Travel was slow, tiring, and sometimes dangerous. People used animals like horses and donkeys to help them move. But animals were not machines. They needed food, water, rest, and care. They could get sick or injured. Carts existed, but broken roads often stopped them. Even carrying simple goods became a struggle. Time was the biggest problem. A journey of just 50 kilometers could take 2 to 3 days. Mail between cities moved at 8 kilometers per hour. News of a war could arrive weeks after it ended. If someone got badly sick, help often arrived too late. In 1832, during a cholera outbreak in Paris, thousands died because doctors couldn't move fast enough between neighborhoods. Distance didn't just separate people, it killed them. Traders could not move goods quickly, so markets stayed small. Soldiers could not reach places on time. Because of this, cities could not grow far apart. London in 1800 had a population of 1 million people packed into just 30 square kilometers, not because people wanted to live so close, but because traveling beyond that was almost impossible. Staying connected was difficult. But humans were changing. Populations were growing. People wanted to work, trade, learn, and meet others far away. Families were spread across distances. Governments needed to control larger lands. Businesses needed faster delivery. Slow movement was holding everything back. Humans didn't just want to move anymore. They needed to move, faster, farther, and with more control. As people needed to move more, the old ways began to fail. Walking was too slow. Animals were not enough. Roads were weak. And every delay created a new problem. If food arrived late, people went hungry. In 1845, Ireland faced a massive potato famine. Food was available in other parts of Europe, but slow transportation meant it couldn't reach the starving in time. Over 1 million people died. If workers arrived late, factories stopped. If messages arrived late, decisions were already wrong. Life started to feel stuck. Cities grew bigger, but people lived farther away from their work. Carrying goods by hand or animal wasted time and energy. The world was moving forward, but human movement stayed behind. Factories could produce goods 10 times faster than before, but delivering them still took weeks. A letter from New York to California took 6 months. Progress was choking on its own distance. This created frustration. People did not want to spend their whole day just traveling. They wanted to use their time to work, build, learn, and live. Parents wanted to reach their families faster. Traders wanted to reach markets before goods spoiled. Leaders wanted control without waiting weeks for news. Slow movement was now more than a problem. It was a barrier. And when something blocks human progress, humans try to remove it. people began thinking differently. They stopped asking, how can we walk better? Instead, they asked, how can we move without walking at all? This question changed everything. Some religious groups called it blasphemy. God gave us legs, not wheels. Traditionalists feared machines would destroy communities. But desperation was louder than fear, because the moment humans imagined movement without human effort, they opened the door to a new idea, one that would soon replace muscle with machines. The pressure had reached its limit. And something new was about to be born. When the pressure became too strong, humans began to experiment. At first, they did not think about cars. They only wanted help, something that could make movement easier. People tried improving roads. They built stronger carts. They used bigger animals. But every solution had limits. Animals still got tired. Roads still broke. Distance still won. So humans looked somewhere new. They looked at machines. In 1769, Nicholas Joseph Cugnot built the first self-propelled vehicle, a steam-powered tricycle. It moved at 4 kilometers per hour and crashed into a wall during its second test. But it proved something: humans could move without animals. During the Industrial Revolution, machines were already changing work. They could lift heavy loads, spin fast, and work for long hours without rest. This made people wonder, if a machine can move objects in a factory, why can it not move people? This idea was simple, but powerful. Inventors started building strange machines. Some used steam. Some used gears. Many failed. Some exploded. Others barely moved. In 1834, Vermont banned steam-powered vehicles after one exploded and killed 2 people. In Britain, the Red Flag Act of 1865 required a man to walk in front of every motorized vehicle waving a red flag, just to warn people of the danger. Some shook so badly that people jumped away. People laughed at them. Some were even afraid. But failure did not stop the search. Every broken machine taught a lesson. Every slow movement showed what needed to improve. By 1880, over 400 different inventors across Europe and America were racing to solve the same problem. Most failed. But failure was teaching humanity how to win. Humans were not chasing speed yet. They were chasing independence from muscle, human or animal. They wanted movement that did not depend on strength, weather, or exhaustion. Slowly, the idea became clearer. If energy could replace effort, then distance could finally be defeated. The question was no longer if humans could build such a machine. The question was how. And who would succeed first. The first real machines to replace human or animal movement were clumsy, strange, and often frightening. They were powered by steam or tiny engines, and at first, they could barely move at all. People called them horseless carriages, but they looked nothing like the cars we know today. They were noisy, smelly, and slow, but they moved without walking, running, or riding an animal. Inventors across Europe and America raced to improve them. Some tried bigger engines. Others used lighter frames. Some machines tipped over. Others broke down. But every failure taught a lesson. Each small improvement brought humans closer to freedom from distance. In 1886, Carl Benz built a small vehicle powered by a gasoline engine. It had 3 wheels, no roof, and could reach a top speed of 16 kilometers per hour, slower than a galloping horse. But unlike a horse, it didn't need rest, food, or water. It just needed fuel. It was not fast, and it could carry only a few people. Benz's wife, Bertha, made the first long-distance car trip in 1888, 106 kilometers to visit her mother. She had to stop at pharmacies to buy fuel because gas stations didn't exist yet. She proved the car wasn't just a toy, it was the future. Still, it worked. For the first time, a human could move faster than walking, faster than any horse, and without depending on tired animals. People were amazed, confused, and sometimes afraid. Some laughed, calling it useless. Kaiser Wilhelm II of Germany called cars a temporary phenomenon. Farmers mocked them, saying, "A horse doesn't break down." But within 20 years, those same farmers would be buying cars. Others saw its potential. Soon, other inventors joined the race. They improved engines, wheels, and steering. Roads were slowly adapted. The idea was no longer a dream, it was becoming reality. Humans were learning how to control distance itself. The journey from imagination to invention had begun. And soon, the world would never move the same way again. As cars slowly became better, people began to notice something important. These machines were not just experiments anymore. They were useful. At first, only a few people owned cars. They were expensive, difficult to use, and often broke down. Roads were rough, and long trips were risky. But even then, one thing was clear. A person with a car could go farther in less time than anyone else. Distance was no longer a wall. A farmer could reach markets faster. A doctor could reach patients before it was too late. Workers could live farther from factories. Life began to stretch outward instead of staying trapped in one place. That changed everything. In 1908, Henry Ford introduced the Model T, the first affordable car. It cost $850, about 4 months' salary for an average worker. Instead of building cars one by one, factories began mass production. Cars became cheaper, easier to repair, and possible for ordinary families. By 1920, 1 in every 13 Americans owned a car. By 1930, it was 1 in 5. Families who once traveled 10 kilometers a year were now traveling 10 kilometers a day. As cars spread, roads improved. Cities adjusted. Homes moved beyond crowded centers. Shops spread farther apart. People began planning their lives knowing daily travel was possible. What once took days now took hours. A journey that took 6 months by wagon in 1850 could be done in 6 days by car in 1920. Time and distance were collapsing. Cars were no longer just machines. They were becoming part of daily life. As cars became common, human life changed in ways no one fully expected. People no longer had to live near where they worked. Families moved to quieter places outside crowded cities. This is how suburbs were born. In 1950, Levittown, New York became America's first mass-produced suburb, 17,000 homes built for families who could now commute by car. Cities stopped growing upward and began spreading outward. Streets became wider. Daily travel became normal, not rare. Entire cities were redesigned around movement. Los Angeles rebuilt itself for cars, with hundreds of kilometers of freeways. Some cities demolished neighborhoods to make room for highways. Cars changed time as well. Trips that once took days were completed in hours. Emergency services arrived faster. Lives were saved. Ambulance response times dropped from hours to minutes. In 1950, someone having a heart attack in rural America had a 10% survival rate. By 1980, it was 70%, mostly because help could arrive in time. Cars gave people something powerful: freedom. Freedom to choose where to live. Freedom to choose where to work. Freedom to move without waiting. But this freedom created dependence. Cities were built assuming everyone drove. Without a car, life became difficult. Walking felt unsafe. Public spaces shrank. Time was saved in travel, but lost in traffic. Air became polluted. Accidents increased. Still, humans accepted the trade. Because cars solved a problem no other invention solved so completely. They defeated distance on a personal level. They gave control to individuals, not systems. Once humans tasted that control, giving it up felt impossible. Cars did not change humans. They followed human needs. And that is why they appeared when they did. Not earlier, not later. Because humans have always built tools to overcome distance. And standing still has never been an option. So here's the real question. If we could go back to 1886 and stop Carl Benz from building that first car, knowing everything we know now about pollution, accidents, and urban sprawl, would you? Or was the car always inevitable the moment humans decided they wanted more than what their legs could give them? Think about it. And let me know in the comments, because your answer reveals how you see progress itself.